put together.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but what about you? What do you think?
About the whole metaverse, like, or just
Oh,
NFTs?
NFTs. What do you think NFTs?
I think the utility is going to be actually applied to real world instances. The thing with the metaverse is, to me, it's like me and Luca talked about this. Like, I think a lot of people out there are very unhappy with their lives and they're constantly looking for an escape. Right now, it's drugs,
Yeah.
video games, or whatever. My concern with the metaverse is now, like, this is going to take that escape to another
Oh,
level.
another level. Yeah.
And I think, in a way, to me, it's a little depressing because it kind of feels like people are starting to give up on the real world.
Yeah.
And they're starting to look into the meta.
I mean, that's already happening if you think about it with Instagram, social media, and everything. People are more involved with their phones than the real world.
But I mean, this would be like
on an extreme, yeah.
where, like, when you're looking at your phone, at least you can see the world around you. Like, when you're in the VR, you don't even know where you are anymore.
Well, you know what they're saying with that? I don't know if you read Ray Dalio's book. I skimmed through like key parts.
Principles?
No, the new one. I forgot the name. He's basically saying how China, or there's going to be another nation that's going to dominate the world in the next 100 or 2 years, and how China has an agenda to dumb America down, and all the factors that are leading to America losing power in the next 100+ years are happening. And he studied nations for the past 5,000 years, empires, wars that happened, companies and nations that took over, and why they navigated away. And he's like, all of this is constructed to weaken America.
When did this book come out?
Recently.
Did you talk about TikTok?
Yeah, he spoke about TikTok.
Okay,
it's not allowed in China. It's allowed here, and it's dumbing down our, community and people and kids and the next generation. And by the time this generation gets to 70, 60 years old, the next generation is going to be dumber and so on.
Oh man, it's looking bad. Have you seen their TikTok in China?
I don't think they have TikTok.
They have I think it starts with an A, but it's basically the same thing, but their algorithm's tailored for specifically showing like science experiments, childhood discoveries, and all that. Yeah, and then you're only allowed on it, I think, like, there's a time limit, so you can't go on it from a certain time to a certain time. Yeah.
Wow.
So, like, it's interesting. Like, it seems like I call it algorithmic warfare.
Yeah, that's what's going on. That's the big war right now. It's not fighting and bombs and missiles and things like that. It's actually the internet and how they're controlling what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And China's doing a good job at it.
They're doing an incredibly incognito job of it. Like, it was weird how they were thinking about banning it 2 years ago, and that kind of just, like, went away. I think Microsoft bought the US version, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how much China still plays into the US TikTok version, even though Microsoft owns it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested. I'm not sure about that myself, but I'm pretty sure a lot. If I had to guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And no hate to people who use TikTok a lot, but I notice there's like a big divide to people who do use TikTok and people who don't. Like, the words they're using, the expressions that they're saying, like the references they're making. It's so crazy. It's like two different entire worlds. I've never seen an app this impactful on like
it's kind of like Vine, but like Vine failed at it.
Yeah.
Right. TikTok, I think, monetized it very well. A great app to get exposure and everything. But I think the narrative that that China is running is they're doing a good job with it. Yeah.
So on a global scale, where do you see things going? Like, do you think we actually do get? Because a lot of people are theorizing that China might attack Taiwan and then group up with Russia. Do you see this amount of extreme things happening?
I'm not sure, honestly. I don't have that much knowledge on how deep that can go. I don't even want to speak on that. I do believe, in the next decades, America will be less in power. I do believe that. But in terms of them attacking Taiwan and stuff, don't really have that much knowledge or looked into it to kind of, make a move, which it makes sense for them to do it. Right, it's a smart move on their end, but do I think it'll happen? Probably with the right timing, I guess.
Yeah. Have you heard the conspiracy theory that Putin is Satoshi Nakamoto?
I heard that.
Oh my gosh.
I heard that. I heard that, but I don't buy it.
I would love to know the real story behind it, because a lot of people think it's the CIA.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't think it's him. I heard that. I heard a lot of crazy stuff about who's behind it and who's not. Some people even said Elon is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think within time, maybe we find out if we're lucky. Yeah.
Do you have any theories on who Satoshi could be?
Once again, some things I'm a curious person, but some things I'm like, there's no way to find out.
Yeah.
I can sit here and guess all day, but there's no hard evidence for me to point anywhere.
Yeah.
So I just try not to get my brain screwed up.
Man, that would be crazy if he did like resurface, or he just like sold everything.
Maybe in a few years. I don't know. Maybe it comes out. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe there's a bigger agenda or mission that we don't really know about.
Yeah, Because I think a lot of people look at crypto and they kind of look at it as like, oh, it's like incognito, but it's like everything but. Like if you find someone's wallet address, like
Yeah,
you can
that's it.
track everything,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of what they're doing with like technology in the way of they're tracking where you're going and what you're viewing, or even like an app like TikTok, they're tracking the websites you're going, everything.
Yeah.
So it just seems like what cryptocurrency is doing is kind of what technology is doing. Like XXX Tentacion said, the new world order is already here, and it's in the form of technology. Like just being able to control the masses. Like do you remember when Hawaii got that fake bomb missile threat on everyone's phone?
Yeah.
Like, man, I just can't even imagine, like, say, like Mark Zuckerberg, like what he could do. Having, I mean, not even Mark Zuckerberg, like even with TikTok, do you know how many people are active on TikTok per month?
It's close to, I saw a number. I saw 1 billion. I don't know what that billion was. I don't know if that's active or users they have.
They said, yeah, active.
Wow.
They have more users than a billion, but they said 1 billion people at least activate like TikTok once a month. Huge. So like having that much power, and like you control the world in a sense, but again, you don't control like the other 5 billion. And that's something that people kind of overlook. I think they said like people who are connected to the internet, this is Kanye, so don't quote me on this, but I think he said like 10 to 15% of the world's connected to the internet, which is crazy because to me and you, like the internet's everything. Like that's how we're connected, and that's how honestly like me and you met, everything. But like if you think about it, like let's just say 70%, 60% doesn't, like 60 to 70% of the world has no internet at all, and they don't even know anything, or worry about the same thing that we're doing. And I've always thought that because like I'll walk around New York City and a lot of people are uptight, you know, they're stressed out and pissed off. And then you go to a village in Africa and these kids are, all they have is like a soccer ball, and they're the happiest kids in the world.
Yeah, they're not exposed to any of this.
Exactly.
They're not exposed to anything beyond that, and their happiness and dopamine come from other stuff. And they're more grounded than we are. We have, you know, first world problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in a way, they say those people are happier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here we have too much comparison, too much things that mess with our brains and minds on dopamine, things that are kicking in, bringing us high and low, that causes this depression thing that's going around.
Yeah.
You know,
have you ever done like a dopamine detox?
I've tried it. It's I maybe I didn't do it the right way. What I've noticed it did for me, it's like you have no dopamine for like a day or two, but then you get an extreme amount. So I don't. Not really. I tried it, but I didn't see a benefit. Maybe I didn't do it the right way. It's kind of like, you know, when people put their phone away to be like, hey, I'm going to put my phone away and work. And then when they get their phone, that whole 2 hours they're nonstop on their phone.
Yeah.
It kind of defeats the purpose.
So what do you mean by like you don't have any dopamine for a day and then you get an extreme amount?
So it goes from, let's say you talk about not being on your phone for 2 days, right? You're not on your phone. You're not on any technology or away from that. And immediately when you do get it, you indulge a lot because you didn't get it for 2 days.
Right.
Well, that's what I did. I tried it. For some people, I think they can, if you maintain a moderate amount continuously, I think you're okay. But if you go from one extreme to the other extreme, it doesn't, like, in my opinion, doesn't benefit you if you do it that way, which is how I did it, which not saying everyone does it that way. But yeah, I never really been into it. What about you? I think you tried it, right?
Well, yeah, I guess the 75 hard would be applicable to that. And what's really interesting for me is the first 3 weeks were a struggle because I gave up caffeine. I gave up everything, like completely, because I wanted to do it the right way. And what I noticed was it took about a month, but then my body, like, 'cause, for example, say like I go to the hookah bar and I hit the hookah, like my dopamine is going way up.
Way up, yeah.
Way up, because that's like not naturally coming from the brain. So when I cut all that out, like I'm never going to get those spikes, right? But my body's gonna, now that bar, instead of it being up here and then like working out's like filling 20% of it, it comes down to like where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
And now it's filling like 80, 90% of it. So by the end of 75 hard, I had to do 1 indoor workout and 1 outdoor workout. By the end of it, I was doing 3 indoor workouts and then 1 outdoor workout every single day because like I wasn't getting dopamine from anywhere else. I was it makes sense. I was on the carnivore diet, so like I was only eating like just meat. So like most of my dopamine came from grinding it out in the gym. So like they say the brain only knows ones and zeros, right? Where's the dopamine coming from? Once it realized it's not getting dopamine from pretty much anywhere else, all it wanted to do was improve.
I wanted to try the 75 hard for that reason, but I thought you were saying where people do a full 24, 48 hour dopamine detox from everything. That's what I thought you were talking about.
No, more like just like starting to control where your
Oh, okay,
dopamine's
okay,
coming
yeah,
from.
yeah, yeah. No, I with that when I'm working and doing stuff, I keep that very moderate, even with Instagram or social media or
Right.
being having high screen time. But the highs and extremes, I've tried that,
Yeah.
but that was like 3 years ago. I went, I think, 2 or 3 days with no dopamine hit at all,
Mm-hmm.
to then being like, okay, I can go